Hi everyone. So today I've made an attempt to explain to you how to dissect a NOC code, which is the National Occupation Classification. So it's usually 4 digits. And how do you know when you look at the 4 digits if somebody is a NOC A, B, C, or D, or which skill level they are at? So it'll answer some of those questions and it'll really clear some doubts that you may have. So hopefully this will help. So let's get right to it. The most important takeaway for you from this slide would be understanding two things: that there are 10 different occupational categories and the numbers go from 0 to 9. We're going to talk about that in the next slide. And there are 4 different skill levels, which is A, B, C, and D. And I'm going to teach you how to look at a NOC code and figure out what is the occupational category and what is the skill level. So when you look at a NOC code, the first digit of the NOC code really represents the occupational category. And there are, like I said, 0 to 9 different occupational categories, which is 10 in total. So, for example, 0 represents all management level occupations, 1 represents the person works in business, finance, and administration occupation, 2 is natural and applied sciences and related occupations, and so on and so forth. So the first digit really tells you where the person works. So if they are working in 3, for example, then it is the health occupation. So in the next slide, I'm going to cover a few examples so you'll have a further understanding of how this works. So let's look at a few examples so we understand how to read the NOC code. Now there is a slight confusion here because when a NOC code starts with a 0, which is the first digit, so first digit should actually represent an occupational category. In this way, if it starts with a 0, then we look at the second digit to understand the actual occupation category. Because 0 means we know they're in a management level position, but where are they in the management level position? Are they working in business and finance? Are they working in natural resources? Are they working in healthcare occupation? How do we find that out? So then we look at the second digit in these cases. So if you look at 0, 1, 2, 4, we know someone who is in a management level occupation. But this NOC code is for management level occupation in advertising, marketing, public relations, because then that's what 1 represents. They're into business, finance, and administrative positions. So like I explained to you before, when the first digit is 0, we look at the second digit for occupation. And hopefully that sort of clears things out for you. So now when you see the second one, it's 0, 4, 1, 2. Now again, it starts with a 0, so we know this person is in a management level occupation. But then we look at 4, which is occupation in education, law, social community. So then that's the place where they are working at. Okay. If you look at the third example, it is 3. So now the first digit is not a 0, it is a 3. So then they are working in a healthcare occupation. So if you look at 3012, it is for a registered nurse. So then again, an example of 2134 is number 2 is the first digit, which is an occupational category. That is, someone is working in natural or applied science occupation. And the last one is 00. Now this is another tricky one. Anytime a NOC code starts with 2 double zeros, then all of these rules don't apply. The 2 double zeros is for senior management executive level occupations, and we're going to cover that in the next slide as well for you to have a better idea. So when NOC codes begin with 2 zeros, they are for senior executives, like I explained before. So none of the rules we just talked about for the first digit being occupation category and all of that, it doesn't apply to these 6 different NOC codes. Okay, so these NOC codes are here for you to review. So if you have any senior management, senior executives in any of these, then you kind of plug them into one of these NOC codes. So now let's talk about the second digit of a NOC code. Now, how do you understand if somebody is a NOC A, B, or C, or D? You must have heard that quite a bit. Let's understand by looking at the second digit, how do we know if somebody is at what skill level? Now, each skill level is represented by 2 digits, as you can see. So for A, the skill level would be 0 or 1. And if it's a NOC B, the skill level is 2 or 3. So let's talk about, let's understand just by looking at examples, what this really means. So taking the same examples as before, 0, 1, 2, 4, we know that if a NOC code begins with 0, then the second digit is not the skill level. The second digit is actually the broad occupational category. So we understood that this person is in a management level position because the NOC code begins with 0. They are in the occupational category of business and finance because the second digit is 1. Then in this case, we look at the third digit, which is 2. So when you look at the third digit, which is 2, we understand that this person is a NOC B because skill level A represents 0 and 1. Skill level B represents 2 or 3. So if this was, say, 0 or 1, so instead of 2, if they had 0 or 1, then they would have been in a NOC A. So again, looking at the second example, we know this person is in a management level occupation. They are in the occupation category of education, law, social, community. And so now they're looking at 1 as a third digit, which will actually represent their skill level. So now this person is a NOC A category because this is 1. So 0 or 1 represents skill level A. So in the third example, the NOC code starts with 3. So we know they are in a healthcare occupation because that would be the occupation. It's not starting with 0. So the first digit represents occupation category. The second digit now is 0, which is skill level A because 0 or 1 represents skill level A. So this person works in a NOC A category. Okay. The last example is 2, 1, 3, 4. So 2 represents the occupation category and 1 represents again the skill level again, which is a NOC A. Again, like I explained before, if a NOC code starts with 2 zeros, then all of these rules don't apply. They are in the senior management level occupations. So thank you for watching, and I really hope you found that useful and that it clarified some doubts you may have had about how to read and understand NOC codes. Subscribe to our channel, okay, because we keep putting out videos on a weekly basis with a lot of information related to Canadian immigration and Canada in general. And give us that thumbs up so it motivates us to keep making such informative videos to present to you.